You know, it feels like every single organization on the planet is in this massive race to get AI into their operations. But here's the thing. In that rush, so many are skipping a really crucial foundational step, and it's causing their biggest, most ambitious projects to stumble right out of the gate.
And this quote really says it all. You've got to understand large language models, the brains behind most of the AI we see today. They're trained on these gigantic amounts of public data. But here's the catch. They don't know your company. They have no idea about your specific processes, your key decision points, or how work actually gets done between your teams. And without that context, all they can give you are generic answers. So to get real, actual insight, you basically have to give the AI a map of your world. And that's where this idea of a digital twin of an organization comes in. Just think of it like the ultimate cheat sheet for the AI, a living, breathing model of how your business actually runs. This right here is the missing puzzle piece that turns a generic tool into a powerful, custom-built system that actually works for you. That foundation we just talked about, that's AI's critical missing step. And when you skip it, it's not just that you get weaker results. The entire system you're trying to build for scaling AI starts to completely break down. So let's take a look at what that failure actually looks like in the real world. Does any of this sound familiar? Without a plan, you just get chaos. Suddenly you've got different teams all spinning up their own little AI projects. Then, once a model's actually built and out there, nobody's really sure who's responsible for keeping an eye on it. Governance becomes this frantic last-minute checkbox exercise. And trying to go from a cool little pilot project to a real enterprise-wide tool, it becomes nearly impossible. It's a pattern of failure we see time and time again. So how do you avoid all that? Well, you need a blueprint. Simple as that. I mean, you would never build a house without one, right? So why would you try to build an enterprise AI capability without a clear AI operating model? This model is what defines exactly how AI workflows for your organization, from that first brilliant idea all the way to long-term oversight. A really strong blueprint has to answer these four non-negotiable questions. First, how are you even deciding which AI projects to work on? Second, who's on the hook when an AI model starts to drift or mess up in the real world? Third, how do you build safety and compliance in from day one instead of just tacking it on at the end? And finally, how do you make AI a tool for everybody, not just some siloed tech team? Answering these questions gives you the structure you desperately need to succeed.
Okay, so you've got the structure. Now, how do you actually know if it's working? Well, that means you have to start measuring what actually matters. And this is where we have to pretty much throw out the old rulebook. We have to stop measuring just the AI and start measuring the performance of the human AI team.
And look, this is a huge shift in thinking. For the longest time, we've obsessed over model accuracy. Is the AI correct? But that's the wrong question. The only thing that matters is whether the team, the human, plus the AI, is performing better than the human could on their own. We're looking for synergy, not just a smart machine. This is how we can start to spot those invisible ways AI can fail. For instance, accept on wrong. That's when people get a little lazy and just blindly trust an incorrect AI suggestion. What's even worse is changed to wrong. This is when a person had the right answer, but the AI actually confused them into changing it to the wrong one. I mean, that's a sign the AI is actively making your team worse. And then there's the rework ratio, which asks a really simple question. Is this AI actually saving time, or is it just creating a bunch of extra polishing work for your people? And it goes even deeper than that. We can measure team gain to see if 1 plus 1 really equals 3. We can track error recovery speed. Because look, mistakes are gonna happen. The key is how fast the human and AI team can catch and fix them. And my personal favorite, cognitive load. Are you actually freeing up your employees' brainpower? Or are you just giving them a new, full-time job of fact-checking the machine? So all of this, the structure, these new ways of measuring, it all points to this really powerful kind of counterintuitive truth about where you need to be focusing your effort. And we can call it the 70% people rule.
This is often called the 10-20-70 rule. And just think about this breakdown for a second. Only 10% of the effort in a successful AI implementation is about the model or the technology itself. Just 10%. 20% is about your data and your infrastructure. And that leaves a massive 70%, a full 70% of the work focused on your people and redesigning your processes.
If you remember one thing from this, let it be this. Success in AI isn't bought with technology. It's earned by fundamentally rethinking how your people do their jobs. The technology is actually the easy part. The hard part is changing behavior, redesigning workflows, and managing the human side of this whole equation. That's where the real work is.
And this 70% focus is so critical, it's literally creating brand new jobs. We're now seeing the rise of roles like explainers, whose entire job is to make sure that AI's decisions are transparent, and sustainers, who are responsible for the ongoing health and ethics of that human-AI partnership. And their main goal, their key performance indicator, it's not model accuracy, it's team success.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. When you look at your own organization's AI strategy, where is all the energy really going? Is it all focused on buying the latest and greatest, fanciest technology? Or is it focused on the much harder, but way more important, work of redesigning how your people will use it to actually win?